Hey, what's up everybody? Bdf 44 coming at you with another video. Love coming there because it's always empty. I hope that means it'll stay in business because there's hardly no traffic. But they got great food, man. Chai Thung over here in Sun Valley. I encourage people to check them out. I love the combination fried rice. I'm sure it tastes even better with egg, but I can't have it. So yeah, it's always a pleasure to be able to get this meal, especially since I be trying to discipline myself against eating out all throughout the course of the 3-week period that I'm over there. So this is my only time I get a chance to really eat out and not feel bad about it. Extremely happy to have this meal in my hand, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna enjoy it when I get home. God be willing to see me get home. I never take stuff like that for granted either. But yeah, man, I just pick up right where I left off as I was telling you guys, man. It's just when you have the presence of an entity in place that wants to harm people intentionally, what's a win? What does a win look like with humanity? How do you maintain your decency while applying to them what's effective and protecting yourself from their intentions? That's the question. Because I don't want to lose my soul being a violent man or co-signing violent behavior. I am not fine with any type of genocide, but I also am of the assumption that if I live to let people live, I can too live. You know what I mean? That's my understanding of humanity up until this point. And if you just leave people alone, the only people you really have to deal with is maniacal individuals and crazies. But when you got entire controlling parties of people that worship the devil and want to sacrifice children, there's no line. There's no line for them. So the measures that you have to go about to cleanse yourself of what it is that they do will have to be extreme. Because if you're not extreme, their aggressiveness and their power will essentially overpower you. And that's what we're faced with while we're sitting here living and let living and applying to them the same fairness that we apply to one another. They're intentional on destroying all of us. And will if we let them. That's what they've proven. And that's a solid, sound conclusion when you watch the stuff that they're doing take place. It's not an extreme thing to say when you're watching them bomb schools, bomb countries indiscriminately, rig governments, co-sign sexual violence, and all different types of other deplorable, evil stuff. You understand that you're dealing with something that can't be rationed with. You cannot bring forth any type of rationality to what it is that they're ultimately trying to do, if you have any damn sense at all. And judging by the power of these people, you gotta be extreme. And look, I don't know what that means, man. If I'm being completely honest with you, I have no idea what that means. I'm raised in a world to believe that you're not supposed to harm people. You're not supposed to go around putting people in concentration camps and stuff like that. That is wrong. Every bit of what it is that I understand has taught me in life to not ever co-sign anything like that toward anybody. So, people have children. People can change. All these different things. But it's like when you're dealing with people who are looking to kill everybody and looking to harm children, what is a rational man supposed to think? What is a man who wants to see the world succeed around him supposed to think? In regards to what does it look like to be able to, with the ruling class in place, having a bloodthirst for the most innocent and most harmless of us all? Then be effective. That's what you have to be. And in order to be effective, you got to abandon certain things. And I'm asking for the solution. I'm asking God what to co-sign in regards to these individuals. What does a win look like to you, God? What does a win look like when we're dealing with monsters that have a lot of money and a lot of power and have control over governments? What does it look like to get a win? And so that's what the theme has been on this channel for the last several hours, or rather for the last 2 videos. Just asking God and asking all of you, what does a win look like? when you're dealing with monsters, man? What does a win look like when you find out these people will bomb school children just to see them burn, man? And they doing all the stuff that they're doing, and we're finding out about. And there's so many different corners of pockets of the earth. They're just creating chaos and doing the devil's work. How do you survive them without doing something absolutely terrible to them? Because my thing is, you can vote a guy out of office. That's one thing. But if the whole Congress is co-signing this nonsense, the whole Congress is aligned with this Zionism shit. Mass media is controlled by these motherfuckers. Excuse my language. Like, what are we supposed to do? Tell me what that looks like. The wind looks like when you got this type of stuff going on. What measures are effective in protecting your children from powerful monsters? And so that's all I'm really trying to say to everybody, man. I turned on my phone for the last several years, and I'm seeing dead babies killed by these people. I listen to them, and they're crying, some type of rhetoric that paints them out to be the victims. I'm looking at the people that are trying to resist them, and the only voices I hear are my own and people on my side, and then their voices, the ones who are doing this to these people, claiming that they're victims once again, claiming that the people who they're doing this to are ultimately the bad guys. I'm sick of hearing Zionist voices. If I'm being completely honest with you, I don't want to hear them anymore. Their words don't match their rhetoric at all. Their intentions are to not allow people to live without the presence of them bringing forth some type of evil wickedness into the mix. I want children to be safe. I want people to be able to live and practice their religion, practice their way of doing things without disruption and peace. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I want to be able to turn on my phone and just see my interests. I don't want to have to turn on my phone and feel like I'm doing the wrong thing by focusing on my interests, because the presence of this entity is doing so much evil stuff in the world that if I feel like I'm being a good person, must speak out on. I can't even freaking watch the Laker game without thinking, man, these are hours I could be spending learning more about what's going on in Cuba. You see what I'm saying? There's no peace. No real peace. They've essentially drawn away from this generation's ability to just be at peace with their lives, or be less of a good person for doing so. Be less of a decent human being by ignoring the atrocities that they're putting in action. I'm looking at people who are enjoying their lives, and I'm looking at them funny. Like, how are you sitting here taking pictures of your food and taking pictures of yourself and enjoying all these banquets and all this pretty stuff, and you ain't raised your awareness about the evil stuff that the Zionists are doing? You haven't told all of us that you care about the evil that they're doing. Like, why are these idiots even in a position to do any of this evil? You see what I'm saying? The onus is not on the people necessarily. It's on the individuals who are doing the evil that create this conundrum for all of us to look at one another and say you're not doing enough or that you're being disruptive. Why are they even in position to do all of this? If not for the presence of them, I can look at somebody who's taking a picture of their food and say, oh, that's some nice food. I can look at somebody at a damn banquet and say, oh, that's some nice setup. That's what our lives should be about, is enjoying one another's cultures, enjoying one another's peace, rooting for one another to be safe, to be happy, to be fruitful in whatever our practices would be, within reason, because we're reasonable people. But you got this antagonist in place, this cancer, human cancer in place, that's robbing all of us of normalcy, while simultaneously robbing innocence of its ability to live. And I'm telling you, when I start thinking about solutions, the only effective solutions that I'm aware of are the ones that make me throw away my own soul. The only solutions that I know of are the ones that make it so that I'm not going to be able to sleep at night after doing it. And to effectively protect children from these monsters, you got to do evil stuff. Basically turn into a monster yourself. And the gaslighting and all that just makes it even more difficult to stomach what it is that the realities provide, which is why that's in place as it is. They behave the way that they do, not necessarily because this just comes naturally to them, but because it's supposed to wear you down and make you fight amongst everyone but them. Looking at each other saying, yo, why aren't you doing more? Shouldn't have to do more because they shouldn't be in place doing all this evil shit. We should be able to live and let live. We should be able to share cultures with one another. We should be able to enjoy one another's successes, enjoy one another's pastimes. We shouldn't have all of this. And I want a generation going forward to not have all of this. They should not have to look in their phone and see a damn genocide and be guilt-tripped into having to speak on it. Because it shouldn't be. You see what I'm saying? It shouldn't be. The bad guys are not the people who want to mind their business. The bad guys are the people who are engaging in the behavior that ultimately makes it impossible to do so. Without being a worse human being for it. So that's what I want to say, man. That's what's on my mind. Yes, we all need to do more. Yes, we need to use our voices because that's just the way the cookie crumbles. These are the cards that our generation's been dealt. You are, in fact, an irresponsible and idle human being, as I mentioned 2 videos ago, for not using your voice to speak out against the atrocities being done. But make no mistake about it, there's levels to evil, and there's nothing more evil than the individuals who are engaging in these behaviors, who are harming these children. There's a much different conversation that needs to be had toward them and how to effectively hold them accountable for these behaviors without souring our souls forever. I am praying for Lebanon. I'm praying for Iran. I'm praying for Palestine. I'm praying for Cuba. I'm praying for Congo. I'm praying for Sudan. I'm praying for our own cities, South America, all these places, our own places. I'm praying for all of us because at the end of the day, we're all under these people's thumb as they continue to do what they're doing against all of us, trying to force us into looking at each other funny for not engaging in behaviors that result in it, in reacting to the behaviors that they engage in. Why aren't you going to the war? What side are you on in this? Do you want to see America win the war? I just want to see good people be able to succeed, man. And if rooting for my country is going to make it so that good people are not able to succeed, then no, that's not a win. What's a win for humanity? A win for humanity is a win for America. And if America is a part of the society that's going to antagonize the entire world, bully the whole world, target children, do all types of evil stuff, then no. Me standing under the American umbrella does not provide me a win. No, that's not a win. I was listening to somebody on a podcast say, yo, are you rooting for your country to win the war? If my country's on the wrong side of history, then that's not a win. If my country's interested in harming people, no, that's not a win. If my country's interested in terrorizing children, no, that's not a win. No. The best way for me to represent my country is to be a citizen of the world and root for good people to be able to survive the evil that's in their lives, that's looking to take their lives. Not stand underneath this flag and represent it and be pleased with the wrong thing. No. For the sake of my own comfort? No. America's the bad guy right now. And I, as an American citizen, need to represent myself as a citizen of the world to best represent this country. It's not even at all about my country winning a war. It's about humanity surviving Zionism. That's what it's about. We can get back to representing our flag, living and let living, after we win this battle, this grand conundrum of how to survive this cancerous entity in our midst that's looking to do nothing but evil stuff, controlling everything, trying to police us against holding it accountable, trying to monopolize all of what it is that our brains are programmed by, so it can normalize its intention to destroy all of us slowly but certainly. No, I'm not rooting for America to win the war against Iran. Iran's children just got bombed. America's going around targeting their kids. I ain't seen Iran bomb a school yet. I ain't seen Iran kill our president yet. We the ones being evil toward them people. And I'm supposed to support us because of some stupid flag? Don't be an idiot. Don't be an idiot. If you worship the devil, just worship the damn devil, but don't be an idiot. You see what I'm saying? I don't worship the devil. So why the hell am I aligning with devil worshippers on their intention to destroy innocence? Hell no, I'm not aligning with them. I don't care what flag they wave or what color their skin. You ain't got enough propaganda to control my mind in that regard. And so no, if you asking me if I want America to win this war, hell no, I don't want America to win this war. They're representing the devil literally. The hell? No. That's not a win for my country. And anybody confused by that is just gotta learn. You know, sometimes you gotta learn. Sometimes you just gotta be on the wrong side to learn what it was that you were on. Being as it was, the wrong damn side. Sometimes you just gotta learn hard lessons. That's not a lesson I need to learn. I get that part before all this stuff goes bad. Some of y'all waiting for us to be underneath rubble to realize that we shouldn't be rooting for Donald Trump and the Israelis. Hell no, you shouldn't be rooting for Donald Trump and the Israelis. They worship the devil. The devil wants to destroy us all. And trying to traumatize us all the way to the grave. Hell no. Once the powers that be that represent my country start doing the right things, letting their words and their actions match, valuing human life, protecting innocence, pouring more money into the cultivation of human beings rather than aggressive weapons of mass destruction, then I could start saying, yeah, I'm rooting for America because America's rooting for me. America's rooting for the people. If the government's trying to co-sign their own sexual deviancy while simultaneously waging war against individuals that are probably too powerful to be trying to fight against any damn way, let alone the fact that they're not interested in destroying us at all, if not for the presence of us doing stupid, evil stuff to them, which make anybody want to fight. Hell no, I'm rooting for Iran all the way in this regard. Of course. And if Iran was doing the things America was doing, and America was doing the things that Iran was doing, then I root for America. As an American, I side with America when America's representing itself properly. If it's not going to represent itself properly and stand for the things that it stood for, then I think it's a responsibility as a citizen to represent us in standing on the right side of things while the representatives of this country are doing the opposite. That way, when you think of America, you're not only thinking of the Epstein class, but you're also thinking of people like Bdf 44. I don't want you to think of America and think of the Epstein class. I want you to think of America and think of us on this side who care about our country, who care about your children, who will not back our government just because it's our kids fighting on their behalf. No, if my kids are fighting for the wrong things, then they deserve what comes for them. And it's rich for me as a person who doesn't have any children, but even if I did, my position, if I'm thinking clearly, would be the same. If you're fighting to protect people who are interested in hurting the innocent, then you deserve what comes of losing whatever battle you're in. It's not deeper than that. And it shouldn't be if we're trying to represent ourselves in a way that's going to stand the test of time positively in history. I ain't rooting for the bad guys to win. I'm rooting for us to outweigh the bad guys' representation of our people, of our nation. Bdf 44. I thank you all for watching.